when I was in Bali a few years ago, and this is a story about a guy coming on to me. And I met this guy in the pool. Far out. This already sounds. So I'm in the pool, and this really handsome, like Chilean guy, like Latin
Ooh,
guy.
I
Yeah,
love
right.
Chileans.
Do you?
Yeah.
I can see that. He jumps in the pool, and it was just the two of us, and we're chatting away, and I'm speaking Spanish with him and whatnot. Anyway, he said, "Oh, who you here with?" And I was actually going to meet some friends in a couple of days, but I had a couple of days myself, so I'm on my own. Let's catch up and we'll, I don't know, go out to dinner and have some drinks.
Yeah.
So he said, "Yeah, that's no problem." So we went back to our hotel, and his room was right next to his room was right next to mine. This is only like the middle of the day or something, and I was like, "Oh well, we're neighbours. That's cool." So I'll know where to come to pick.
Did you know he was gay?
I didn't.
Okay,
No,
so he.
no idea.
Okay.
No,
All
sorry,
right.
I should have mentioned that. So I've gone to my room and I had a shower and I think I watched a movie and stuff because we had a few hours to kill. So anyway, a couple of hours later, I get dressed and I went next door and I knocked on his door because it was time to leave. And the doors opened and there he is in just a towel.
Oof.
And he's like wet.
Oh, the wet
Right?
look.
He looked
Hot.
good. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like,
Yeah,
he
he
was
looks
in
great.
great shape, this guy. And I'm okay with that. Far out. I've been in the locker room many times and I've sort of walked out, "Hey man, like we're ready to go," kind of thing. He's like, "Oh yeah, sure. Just grab a seat." And
Oh no.
I know, thinking nothing of it. My gaydar is so off. I don't
Yeah.
even have one. And I'm like, yeah, sure, okay, no problem. I'll just wait for you to. And then he's gone. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Gone to the bathroom, and as he walked to the bathroom, he dropped his towel. So I've seen his ass, his
Oh.
bare ass, walk in the bathroom. I'm like, that's odd.
Okay, well maybe that's a better signal
Well,
than this.
well, I can tell you, he didn't do that. I'm sure of it. I mean, we were in the pool, but then I'm seeing his butt, and he's kind of like.
Did he look back?
No, he didn't. But he was in the bathroom, so that I could still see his butt because he was combing his hair at the
So he
thing.
left it open.
He left it open, and there he is at the sink, kind of combing his hair and whatnot. And I'm like, oh man, come on, like shut the door.
Oh, so even at that point you were like,
Well, I
you
was.
know, we're just comfortable. We're just having a shower.
I
Cool.
know. Yeah. Well, the ass thing. I mean, look, here's something.
Here's a different culture. It's a different culture. You
It
never
is.
know.
That's right. The Europeans are very free and open about that. But I will say this. I don't know. Maybe in Australia, I think we are a little bit more conservative. I mean, if I go to the
We are 100%.
Absolutely. If I go to the gym and I take my pants off and there's a guy like right there, maybe putting his shoes on and he's at like crutch height, I'll turn around. I'm not going to have a junk in his face. You know what I mean? I don't mind if he sees it, but I'm not waving it round. And
Woo! You're not going to do the fish lap in the
no, God no. Goodness
There's
knows.
limits. There's
There
lines.
is, yeah. I'm not doing a fish lap. Anyway, so we're back in Bali, and so this guy, and it turned out he was gay, but he said something, and he backed right off at that point.
Yeah.
But it was only when we went out because I sort of was like, oh, far out. I'm right next to him. I just going. I thought he's going to be a while here, so I went
Yeah.
back to my room and say, hey, I'll catch you. Just knock on my door when you're ready.
Yeah.
Sit here on the bed and look at your ass, and. We went out to a club and we went and had some dinner, and that's where he told me, and I'm like, oh, far out.
You know what? I love how many moments there were where he was giving you signals this whole time, and you just were like, ah.
I just thought, yeah. Well, he didn't have any, tone about. I mean, not that all gay men needed
No,
to be
of course
super
not.
camp. He was not camp in the least, but he was like not a rough and tumble guy. He was
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah.
I didn't pick up on
Yeah.
it, but I will say this: he mentioned something very interesting. Far out. Now I'm telling you stories. This is boring.
Hey.
I will tell you this though. We're in a club and he said, do you know what? He made an interesting point which really resonated with me. He said, the thing is you're a straight guy. And he said there's so many people, and he said probably, all the girls here, probably 95% of them are straight. So you could go up to any girl and meet her and
Yeah.
take her home. He said, for me, it's different. He said,
Yeah.
he goes, there's such a small percentage of men that are gay here and some might be bi. He said, I wouldn't know. And he said,
Of course, and I totally
You understand?
resonate with that.
Okay.
But you know what? I also, with men that are gay, it's so different to women or bisexual. Say a man's bisexual and a woman's bisexual.
Yep.
For me, before, I was describing how women are lying about
Yes.
lying or wanting to experiment or whatever with me, and how that makes me feel so degraded. Men, you don't have men doing that to other men. You're not going to, a gay man doesn't walk into a bar and all the straight guys decide that they want to experiment with him.
Yeah.
So there's this dissonance there between men and women, and I think about how acceptable in our culture it is to be bisexual. Don't you think?
I agree. Yeah.
Which is, it's unfortunate and terrible, but it just is what it is.
I think you're right about that. Interestingly, men don't. I don't think men. I wouldn't know. Again, I really don't know enough about this, but I don't think a lot of men want to experiment with other men.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You are gay or you are not.
But why with women is it different? And do you think that's because through, generations and even in terms of, if you look, I'm not sure when the last time I think in Australia, the last time someone was hung for being gay was probably the early 1900s. But it was never...
Were we ever doing that? No.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It was illegal to be gay in Australia?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. I thought that was like a...
For sure. But
African,
then it was
European
still
thing.
in our laws. It was still in our laws. But then it got... I'm pretty sure that's right. Or maybe I've done research about... No, I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yeah, you could be. I don't know.
But then it became... even though it was still written in our laws, it was not, you weren't actually penalised for it.
Yeah, it was frowned upon. Maybe.
Anyway, my point was that, and say you think of many countries, maybe we'll talk about Western countries all over the world. In Britain, for example, there were definitely people hung for practicing.
Absolutely. I mean, it still happens in the Middle East now.
Oh, for sure. It happened.
But
That's
I didn't
what I
think
mean.
it happened here.
Yeah. In a lot of places, it still happens. But again, all I'm saying is that for women, that hasn't been the case. It wasn't looked upon as a good thing, but people weren't killed for being gay.
No.
Whereas for men, it was a different thing.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's as if there's more of a stigma attached to men being homosexual than women.
That's right.
Look, yeah, because to speak to that as well, look, you go to a club and it's not unusual to see your friend, a girl, like make out with some other girl.
Yeah.
Because girls are pretty. I mean, if I were a girl, I want to kiss girls too. You know what I mean?
I know. But you don't see your guy mates.
Oh, God, if my...
hooking up. You know what? Weirdly enough, in my hometown, the guys used to make out all the time.
No,
I'm serious. But it was more for the shock factor. They were kind of prankster kind of thing. So you would go... But this is still like a town that was still having some issues with accepting.
Yeah.
And I think, weirdly enough, even though they were taking the piss, it kind of changed a lot of people's perspective about acceptance. I don't know. It's weird, isn't it?
It is. I'll tell you a story. Far out. When I was living in England years ago, we all played Spin the Bottle. And there was probably 10 of us, guys and girls. And you had to kiss whoever. And lo and behold, this guy spun it and it landed on me. I'm like, oh, my God. And I'd never kissed a man.
Yeah.
Nor have I since, mind you. But I remember, and I was so resistant to it.
What kind of kiss was it? Or was it like... or was it like...
I'm about to describe the kiss. No, there was no tongue. But I remember, and all I remember was his stubble.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that struck me as like, oh my God, how can a woman kiss a man? The stubble on his lip. He didn't have a mustache. It was just this stubble. And he kissed me on the... And I just went, no. It was horrible. Yeah. No. And
from that moment, you knew that you were 100% straight, maybe. Who knows?
Oh, I never doubted my sexuality, no question.
Yeah.
It's staunch history of heterosexuality, but is that me ringing? Oh, someone. I don't even know who that is. I get a lot of calls from people whose numbers I don't know. But far out. Look, this is a fascinating subject. So, look, do you think though that you're 31 now, but let's fast forward to say when you're 36, 37, maybe you want to settle down.
Yeah.
Would you settle down with a woman long term?
For sure.
Really?
Definitely.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think for me it's about being, meeting and being with the right person.
Yeah, it doesn't matter the gender.
It doesn't matter. I mean, obviously there's, something that people bring up is the issue of kids. But again, you can
have children.
So easy now. You can both get pregnant by the same sperm donor and they're siblings. Fantastic. There's so many.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many different. In fact, I think it in my head. I probably idealize that situation a little bit. Like it sounds pretty cool.
That would be perfect. Yeah.
It sounds awesome. So
would you do IVF or would you just meet some guy?
I don't know. I guess, yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? You can both go out on this getting a bit heavy, have a threesome, both get knocked up.
Well, you could. I'll tell you something. A few years ago, a friend of mine approached me and said, would you like to be a sperm donor for... She's a lesbian couple.
Yeah.
Yep. And I was really good friends with them. One of them was a veterinarian. The other one was an Olympic wrestler, actually.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. And actually, do you know what? They're not together anymore, but they did get married. And they were probably married for about 3 or 4 years. And they were such a lovely couple. And they invited me around for dinner one night. I used to go around there all the time. They were cool as hell.
So they probably invited you over for like a good year before asking the question. They're like, all right, do you reckon it's time yet?
Well, we were good friends. And then they said that. And I immediately just went, I can't do that. I'm really sorry. I just can't. Because far out for me, I would want, I'd see this little boy or girl around there holding hands in the park. Well, yeah, that for one. And anyway, so I gently declined. I said, look, far out, it's a huge compliment to me for you to ask me that, but I'm afraid I can't accept it. Anyway, they were going on to tell me, they said, right, well, our other option is that we've got to get a sperm donor. And oh my God, I didn't realize you don't just walk into a sperm donor, clinic and go, I'll grab some sperm, please. Like it's a whole thing. They got to look at your backstory, where you're from, so that you're not essentially inbred. And it was a major operation.
Wow.
Yeah. They don't just go, oh yeah, this is Jimmy. He's 6 foot.
I didn't even think of that.
He's 6'2" and blonde and blue eyes, or there's Tony over there. He's black, and I mean, it's a whole thing.
But it's even changed in the way sperm donors, in terms of being anonymous. Because when a child is 18, they have the right, or 16 or 18, legally, the laws have changed. They legally have the right to know who their sperm donor is. So no one can actually do it. I mean, they can be anonymous up to a point, or, not contactable, but the child always has a right to know. So
can you imagine getting that knock on you? Well, you'd know.
Oh yeah, I've done this. But I am that child. Well, not the sperm.
Am I your dad?
Not sperm donor. Yeah.
But you know what? I've actually thought about this because I might have well, I don't. I'm very careful. I've always been.
But you never know.
You never know. And I've
true.
actually, I'm at that age now where I could actually have, an 18-year-old kid go,
yeah,
hey, Dad. I'd love that. I'd actually really like that.
Yeah, it would be cool, especially when they're 18. You're like,
you don't
have to go through
all
the toddler stage. Yeah.
All the hard work's done. As long as you're a cool person. I'd hang out with you for shopping,
let's
Dad.
Let's go to the clubs. I'll show you the ropes.
I'm not going to do that, but it would be amazing. Neither of us have got children. I'd love, you're going to have children one day. I could imagine.
I would hope so.
Yeah, you're going to be a great mum. And
I'm pretty sure I don't have any children out there.
You'd have to know about that, wouldn't you? I mean,
yeah, you'd. Yeah, yeah, you'd think so. You know what? There was a time there. I would have been, in my mid-20s, when I was looking at giving some of my eggs to a couple.
No kidding. Okay.
And I was very serious about it, but they couldn't. There was a law. I think I don't know if it's the couple or the law in Australia that if you haven't had a child of your own yet, you're not allowed to give your eggs.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, and so basically the medical team there, I hadn't been through any of the tests or anything like that, but after going through my history, they were like, no, we can't, because if later down the track you are unable to have kids, or you've got no eggs left, or that could be a problem for this couple that has Wow, there's a lot of moving parts to this stuff that you don't consider. It's a bit like adopting, if you go wanting to adopt a child, I mean, it's a lot of red tape. Oh, yeah.
You can't just walk in and they're just not handing the kids out. It's a major thing. It can be really expensive, and then, all that stuff. I mean, far out. But I'm encouraged to know that, you'll be a good mum, because you've got a good energy. You've got a good, gentle energy, I'm telling you. I'm a big fan of you. Okay, now, hang on. Okay, let me go. I want to go back to these questions because I know that there's people going, what? Come on, we want to answer the question.
Let's have a look. Let's see if I've...
Oh, far, how do I do it again? I don't know where you went. Oh, no, I do. Yes. Here we go. Oh, there we go. Who is she? Who's Megan? No one knows who you are on my Instagram.
They're Married at First Sight fans.
I guess they are. Well, they would be. Geez, that's interesting, isn't it? Like, I mean, I've got 1,000.
Well, we could go to some of these questions that I was.
Here's one for you. I just don't know if I was telling you this. I've had recently somebody keeps putting making profiles on Instagram and asking my friends to be their friend. Fake profiles with like my photos.
Fake profiles.
You want to hear a funny story? Here we
I
go
do.
again. This is your podcast, but I will tell you a story.
That's all right.
I don't think I've mentioned this before. About 2 years ago, I got a call. Well, not a call. Sorry, a message from a lady in Canada. It's a long story, but I'm shortening it. Ultimately, this one woman had used my images to create a profile on a singles dating site in a little place in Ontario, Canada, called Milton, little town called Milton. Shout out to Milton.
Yeah.
And she was catfishing other women for over a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Over a year.
Yeah.
But she wouldn't actually be able to meet with them.
She couldn't. She never did.
So it was just all.
Well, his name was Ryan.
What if they were like, send me some photos? Was she?
They did. Do you know what? Then do you know what she'd do? She'd go back onto my Facebook or my Instagram and take another photo, but then and put like she was really good with Photoshop. And someone actually said to her at one point, take a photo of you and put up today's date. And she had photoshopped her own fingers, but she obviously had fingernails. So she had curled up her fingers like in a fist and held this thing and photoshopped it in front of my... And I had these two women from Canada and they're like, this is what's happening. I went, no. And they're like, yeah, we're going to send you the photos. Anyway, they said, oh, can you come on Facebook Live to our group, because they had a
and
community.
just say.
And you're right. And I'm on there and I'd never done Facebook Live. This is about 2 years ago. It was before maths. And I said, oh, hey, everyone. And they're like, oh, my God, Ryan. And I'm like, no, I'm Michael. And they're like, oh, you're Ryan. I'm like, that was his whole alter ego. He worked on an oil rig. He liked bananas. I know. It was like...
But what was this Facebook group? Why were there so many people dating Ryan? Not dating Ryan?
I think there was about 300. Yeah, right. It was a small town community singles Facebook group.
So they'd be like, oh, you know Ryan? I know Ryan.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, a lot of them follow me on Instagram, so they're going to be watching this going, oh my God, yes, that was us. Weird. But I put...
It's strange, isn't it?
It is, yeah, but I got a lot of invites to Canada. Oh, you should come to this in Canada. I'd love to. Yeah, but in Canada.
You should go.
I want to go.
Actually, that's actually something I want to do. My editor for the last book I wrote, I'm actually...
Did you write a book?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, talk to me about this.
Actually, when...
We should have opened with this.
I'll give you one of my...
A copy?
Yeah, I'll give you a copy. I actually wrote a fiction book. It was a psychological thriller surrounding reality TV.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
I read one once by Ben Elton. I'll think of the name in a moment. He wrote a very good, interesting book about that. But give us the premise. Give us the...
I'm sort of more excited about the second one, I guess. It sort of follows on from the first. But it's a little bit about how... I wanted to draw, I guess, a metaphor between... You know, everyone talks about reality TV and how real is it?
Yeah.
But I also wanted to draw a parallel between that and us as human beings, you know, what we present to the world.
Sure.
How much of our inner life and our external life, like maybe it just draws a parallel, you know, for humanity, for social media, for there's so many different things in our life that are, you know, that concept of reality TV is our lives.
I heard that somewhere. Somebody said that it's reality TV. It's like you're watching a mirror.
Yeah.
You know, like your TV's just
That's
a mirror.
why we like it.
Well, we must. And this is why I don't understand some of the negative comments, because it's like, excuse me, you know, you've done worse than this. Don't give me that. You know, you put a camera on anyone for a week, let alone 3 months, they're going to say and do the dumbest things. And
for
like,
sure. And we all have our bad moments, our shitty moments. Do. And imagine if everything that you thought you said. Like, I feel like when you're on reality TV, they put you in situations where you're so tired, you're so exhausted or drunk, where everything you think you say. Man, if I said everything that I thought, I'd probably be in jail. So,
true.
But yeah, the second book is. Okay. I'm actually starting to write a screenplay on it.
Wow, I like this. What's
as
the
well.
Story?
I feel
for a short film or a feature film?
For like a 4-part miniseries.
Wow. Okay.
So, I'm kind of keeping on the down low not the download in terms of that I'm doing it, but the plot and the storyline for now.
Yep. Okay.
Plus, I always
give
find
it away.
weird.
'Cause-
It's weird talking. Like I can talk about lots of other things, but when it comes to my writing, I don't know why. I find it very hard to talk about.
Why do you think that is?
I'm not sure. I think I've put a lot of myself into the book. Obviously, the characters aren't me or people I know, but it's certainly an accumulation of
Experiences and
So
personalities you might have
come across.
Yep.
For sure.
That's interesting that that you find it a little awkward talking about. I wonder if that's coming maybe from a place of modesty or or just maybe you're not, surely you're confident with what you're writing, you know, the material.
I think that when you read a book, it doesn't matter who you are, you create an image in your mind of the character.
Yeah,
and every person is going to take something different from a book, from someone's writing. And I feel like I'm sort of taking away from someone's experience as well by describing what it's about or what I feel about it. Because I don't think any art is meant to be like that, whether it's music or paintings or it's all about the experience someone has with that interpersonal experience. So I think that's part of it. I don't want to get into people's heads about, what I felt about it and what other people have said, this is what I got from the book is so different.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe that's part of it.
Can't hurt to give an outline though.
Can't hurt. Basically, I'll give you a synopsis of the
Just
first
20
book.
words or less.
So basically, a man who his marriage has failed. He's about 30. Oh wow, that sounds like me.
Sounds like me too.
Yeah,
a little older though.
Yeah, but it's a man. It's a man.
Yeah.
So I'm writing from a man's perspective at first,
Okay.
and then it goes into a female perspective. So he's like, fuck, I'm going to go on this reality show. I've kind of lost everything. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I needed a little booster. I feel like it's wanky, but whatever. I'm going to do it. Let's just do it and see what happens. So he goes on there, and it's a bit like a bachelorette kind of situation.
Okay.
And when he gets there, he realizes that he knows who she is. And it's from a very dark period in his past, but she doesn't know who he is.
Okay.
And so that's the big question. Why does he know who she is? And it's and from there it becomes a bit of a psychological thriller.
I like that. Honestly, on the face of it, I really like that. I read a thing that said that writing, the process of writing can be like driving a car in heavy fog.
Yeah.
You can't see very far, but every now and then the fog can clear for a little bit and you can see a little bit further before the...
That's right. That's right. And I feel like when I wrote my first book, I didn't have a clear idea of where it was going. It started out, my dad had said to me, you've been on reality TV, you should just write down some of your experiences so you don't forget it. And I was like, I don't really want to write about myself. So I just started, but I wrote down a few things. I've always kept journals.
Yep.
And then it just kept evolving and evolving. And I was like, I think I'm going to write a book.
Yeah.
But this second one, I have a very clear idea of...
What's the title of your first book, by the way?
Episode 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then, the next one, I've got a very clear idea of where it's going, and I think it's much better. I'm not a writer.
Sure.
Yeah, so...
Do you have somebody that you work with to kind of give you a framework, a hero's journey, as it were?
Not really. No, not really. I mean, I did it more as a hobby thing. I wasn't expecting to sell it. And then I put it out there and it did, made my income for the year.
Fantastic.
Which was awesome. So...
Shit, I might write one myself.
Yeah, you better write one. Yeah, but it was a bit of that situation. Yeah, but I think everyone's got a book in them, really.
Definitely.
We've all lived such different lives.
Yeah, no question. I know that I would love to write about maths.
Yeah, you should.
I should, but obviously
you know what would
from
be
a different
cool?
perspective. Yeah.
It'd be cool to write a book. Actually, with what you're doing, you would be the perfect person to write this book.
How so?
To have obviously a non-fiction book with 5 parts, Love Island, Married at First Sight, and you interview a whole lot of different people and put together sort of like a,
examination
before,
of each.
during, after. Yeah, an examination and go through all of it, like how it affects people's mental health or what what would you call it?
Consequences.
Temporary fame, because a lot of people think it's going to last forever.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting for someone to do that.
I will say this, that I think some shows last longer than others, the fame of it. You know, when we were down in Sydney, for example, you and I and Dean, we got together and they were still asking for his autograph or his selfie.
Dean.
For Dean.
Yeah.
People are like, oh my God, Dean. I'm like, wow, this guy was like a year and a half ago. It's crazy. It's huge.
Yeah, of course.
Thinking, oh, far out. I thought it was going to drop off.
But I suppose there's certain characters that you always remember as well from certain series. And
no one's going to remember me.
Oh, but you know what? Like, even for me, when I first came off, it was nuts. And then, you know, time goes on and you're not remembered as much.
Yeah, yeah. They remember your face.
Yeah, they're like, well, I know you from somewhere.
I love that. I went to the bank the other day. I had an issue with my card and I had to sit down in this office with the lady. And you know, their eyes sort of go wider as if like, how do I know you? And I'm not going to give anything away because I just have some fun with her. And anyway, I sat down and she goes, look, I've got to say, I know you. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe I said...
Yeah, that's what I do. I'm like, I'm not really from this area. Like, I don't know what it is.
And and then they go, no, I know you really well. And I'm like, really? I don't know. Do you
I've never even been into this bank before.
Do you play indoor netball or something? Like, no. Okay, do you do Pilates? They're like, no. Okay, well, anyway, and then eventually
they figure it out.
Yeah, they go, oh my God, I know who it is.
Yeah. Like, sometimes when I'm not in the mood for it, I'm just like, I was on them. But I always feel like an idiot saying that. Like, like if I'm like, oh, I was on Bachelor series, and they're like, no, I served you coffee at the, and you're like, oh, I'm such a wanker. That's always what I'm worried about.
Oh goodness. Look, you know, early on, I got to say, I liked being asked. There's something about fame. Tasting fame isn't something that everyone will get a taste of.
Yeah, and I agree with you. There's something that it does. Of course, like when I first started getting recognised, I remember the first couple of times you're like, oh, this is a bit weird. This is kind of cool. Yeah. But then we've all had the situations where you've been to a bar and you can't actually sit down and have a drink because people. But you've got to be, you know, you've chosen to go on the show and you've got to be respectful to people and give your time to people. Be gracious.
Yeah, that's right. I think you got that responsibility to you know, if depends where you're at. I mean, after about I've noticed after about 9 o'clock in the bars and whatever.
That's what it is.
People start doing these ones and they get a little looser up. Yeah. You know, I'm going to go over and say something. Yeah. And it's not just, oh, hey, Mike, how you doing? It's like, hey, buddy, how you going? Come here, mate, give us a photo. And like, oh,
I think that's the thing that gets me when people don't even say hi.
No, and then they get the photo and they just walk away. And you're like, do you not want to have a conversation? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, I'm cool to have a conversation with someone and a photo, but when you're just getting grabbed, like, nah.
And I'm going to be honest with you, girls do it worse than the guys. I've had they pull you by the arm.
Guys
and I'm like,
are actually pretty good, and they feel a bit weird about coming up to you most of the time.
Yeah. Girls don't. Girls are like, just let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be a bit exhausting. You know, I went up the casino. The casino seems to have like people recognize, and they come running, and you're like, whoa. Yeah. I told you before I was with these Love Island guys, and far out. It was like they were the Beatles walking through.
Yeah.
I mean, it was schoolies, to be fair. We were all doing this appearance thing.
It's nuts. Like,
it's kind of cool. It's interesting though, isn't it? I mean, it'll fade away, and I'm happy with that.
Don't you think though the Gold Coast? It seems like there's more of like living in Sydney. I would still get recognised and asked for a photo every now and then. But I've been here for 3 or 4 days.
People are loving you.
Well, I just thought, you know, it's been a couple of years. You know, you don't get noticed so much. Yeah. This kind of thing. And gosh, and especially the schoolies, they're what, 17, 18?
Yeah, they got good memories though.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. They're still young. But it was like for me, 2 years ago was the last time I was on a show.
Yeah.
So it's like they were 15 watching. I don't know. I'm just, why? Why do you know me?
I think it is just age. But I'll tell you this. I went to this appearance thing with these Love Island guys, and I'm just like, come on, I'm old enough to be these kids' father. I don't think I want to.
Did you actually feel like that though?
No,
I
didn't.
don't think that you did. I was going to say the only reason you felt like that is because
of the
people.
number?
No, it's because people troll you and tell you what you are and aren't supposed to do.
That's true, because the kids were like,
And,
I'm saying kids because to me, these are children, they're young people. I mean, they look young and stuff. And you're right, I shouldn't let it worry me, but I mean, because they were like, oh my God, Mike. But the Adam and this other guy, Owen from Love Island, I mean, they're hugely popular at the moment. The show's just finished and they're these young, handsome guys in their 20s, and I totally understand it. So I'm just like, I'll get the hat down and I'm kind of in the background. I'm like, I don't want to be part of this. And everyone's in there with phones, hundreds of kids running across the street. Oh my God, you guy. And I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. And I was with another girl from Married at First Sight. Yeah. And we were just kind of off to the side going, just let them do their thing with these guys. And then someone recognized me and she goes, oh my God, Mike. And I'm like, oh, it's on. And then all these other ones come over. And I was having a moment like, nah, we're getting a little bit of a bit of love too. And then she goes, oh my God, Mike, my mother's going to be so happy that I get a photo with him. Like, really? Like, you're not happy? Okay, whatever. Your mum will do. Come here, give us a photo.
That's so good.
I love making videos for people as well. Like, they come up and they want to, and they go, oh my God, my cousin.
You're like, hi, so-and-so.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, what's their name? And they put on video. It takes no time at all and they love it. And you're just like, oh, hey, Tracy, I'm here with your granddaughter or whatever, and nice to meet you. And they're like, it's going to make her day. And
isn't it? It is weird, like what we're describing though. Like, it's not.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's a weird experience. Like, even now, and gosh, I went on the first show over 4 years. Oh, you were on the first Bachelor? Oh, no, as in, like, that was 4 years ago. It was season 4.
Okay.
So it was that, then Paradise. But that was 4 years ago now. Going into 5 years ago.
Wow.
So it's been 5 years of it, but I still find it weird. I still find it weird having articles written about me and things. Like, it still doesn't feel
like a normal thing.
Nah.
Yeah, it's a fascinating thing. I mean, even if you and I were seen walking down the street and someone took a photo, there'd be a story tomorrow.
Oh, for sure.
Like, yeah.
I've dated so many people this year, apparently.
Have you?
Yeah.
We should go out and just do it for shits and giggles. Get a story. We're right opposite the beach.
But you know what? The last 2 stories about people I've apparently dated didn't even include a photo.
Really?
Yep, they were just, Megan was seen with this person, and neither of them I had dated. I was there and it was a group situation.
Okay.
So I'm not saying names, so I don't want to bring it up again.
We've been in public today, so there might be a story about us.
Oh, yeah. True.
Oh, far out. There's the media have a bit of a thing with me. I'm a bit of a whipping boy.
It's funny. Like, you know how you're saying on your Insta that people don't really recognise who I am. But I'm like, Daily Mail still write at least 2 articles a week. And
about you?
About nothing.
Yeah.
About nothing. So
that's interesing.
It is.
I don't know. Maybe I've got a different group of friends to you. That's fascinating.
Guys.
Well, now they know who you are, and they're going to think you're great. But like I do. Far out, Megan. We've been chatting for ages.
Yes.
I feel like I don't know. I could tell you exactly how long.
It's time for a wine.
Do you feel like a wine?
Oh, do you have one?
Well, you never asked. I don't actually. I wish I did, because I would have been. But we could go. We should. Why don't we go for a drink at? What day is it today? Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Thursday. We could go down the Pav.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hey, it's so nice.
See you guys at the Pav.
I don't know if we achieved anything here today. I feel like we did. I feel like we talked about all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
we
this
did.
has been really fun. Let's do this again. Give me a. By the way, your camera. Oh, you did it! You know what that means.
Oh no, that I'm a gay man.
No, anyway. Means you're available or something. Hey, by the way, didn't it used to be that if you went to the shopping centre and you had a single banana in your basket, that was like a come on light saying that you're single?
But you'd have to like go like show people your basket. So you'd be like going out to people like.
Okay. Maybe I was wrong.
I mean, it could be right. It's
maybe it's not.
Just be hard for people to. Look, anyway.
We're idiots. Hey, so nice to have you. See you later, guys.
Bye.
That was cool.
That was awesome.
Oh, far out. And you know, I'll trim that because I rambled on a little bit about things. God, you talk, you speak so well. It's so nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.